Observation number three is one in which sometimes there are people who like to make us choose between one or the other. They like to say that sharing our testimony and our faith is something we only live out. And others say it's something you should just speak about. But I don't think that's a choice we have to make. I think that this passage teaches that sharing our faith, witnessing or sharing our testimony is both verbal and visible. And that's really the point of observation number three from John chapter 1, that spiritual reproduction is both visible and verbal. We've got to say it and we've got to live it. In this story, Andrew and of course Philip both spoke after they were also living what they had experienced. It was a verbal and a visible testimony. And I just want to encourage you to be very verbal in your testimony and to be very visible in your testimony. Live what you believe and talk about what you believe. Understand, of course, now that we sometimes act in ways that don't encourage conversation. I call this iPod-itis. You see it all over our culture. It's the little white things or the black things that go in people's ears. And I love to watch especially teenagers and young adults walk around the mall or even in church or different places, the grocery store. They'll have one of them in this ear and the other's empty, as if to say, I will talk to you if you really want to, but don't bug me because I'm kind of listening to my music. And while I'm all for music and I understand iPods and I think that's great, sometimes that sends the message that says, hey, don't talk to me. I'm kind of in my own world. And part of sharing our faith is being willing to make ourselves available for conversation. Hey, don't succumb to iPod-itis. Enjoy your music when you're running, doing things that are kind of your thing in private and you're on your own, so to speak. But when you're with people, man, keep both ears open and keep your eyes wide open and keep your life open and use every opportunity to be both visible and verbal in sharing your testimony so that God, as He reproduces His work in other people through your testimony, there will be no hindrances from our lips or our life in regards to what God is doing, okay? So observation number three, spiritual reproduction is both verbal and visible.